Harry had a feeling that Snape didn't like him, but he was wrong. Snape hated him. Where Snape talks about how potions can bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. Hagrid legit can't look Harry in the eyes anymore. Hey guys! Today I'm going to be reacting to Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone by JKRowling. But first, if you're new around here, listen up, because I've got a little secret for you. I'm not just any reactor. I am Charlotte the Starlet, and I'm a writer. So I don't just react, I review. And the way I do it is simple. If I like something, I add a point, starting from last video's total, and if I don't, I take one off. Now, as y'all can see, I've got a couple friends with me. This is Angel, and this is Seth. Alright, let's jump in. Yo, they finally arrived! Chapter 7, The Sorting Hat. McGonagall starts reading off a long list of names, and each person she calls has to go on stage in front of the whole school and try on the hat. And then the hat will announce which house they're in. So we are right at the start of chapter 8, the Potions Master. I want to read the first few lines out to you guys. It says, there, look, where? Next to the tall kid with the red hair, wearing the glasses. Did you see his face? Did you see his scar? It doesn't say who said these things, and it doesn't matter. That was just a few examples of the kind of whispers Harry was getting. This is one of the best show don't tell examples I've seen in a long time. Like, if I'm honest, sometimes when I think about filming, I just feel a bit like, ugh. These videos may seem simple, but there's a lot that goes into it. It takes me an hour to get ready, because I'm that type of diva, and then it takes another hour to record. At least. And sometimes that hour feels like years. Anyone who dislikes reading can probably relate to this, but sometimes the thought of having to read already leaves you exhausted, and that's kind of how I was feeling today, if I'm honest. But just those few lines got me right back into the spirit. Like, now I'm all excited again. Gossiping like this is never nice though. I know exactly how it feels to be the subject of a bunch of rumors, and they can mess with your mental health so much, especially if they are false. But man, I as an adult only just learned how to cope with gossip like this, so I can't imagine what it must be like having to deal with this at like 12 years old. Oh yes! Because it's Harry's first day, we're gonna get a lot of descriptions of Hogwarts. I'm hoping, at least. Like, all 142 staircases were just described. It says that there were wide ones, sweeping ones, narrow ones, rickety ones, ones that led somewhere different on a Friday, ones with a vanishing step halfway through it that you have to jump over. How did she think of all this? Can't believe that once upon a time earlier on today, I didn't want to film and read all this. Aw, but it says Nearly Headless Nick is always happy to point a lost Gryffindor in the right direction. Meanwhile, Peeves was the complete opposite. Man, Peeves really was something. Lots of people were disappointed that he wasn't in the movies, but if I'm honest, in my opinion, I feel like if he had been, he would have just wasted everyone's time. You know, and I mean the audience, not the character's time. The world of Harry Potter is so extensive that not everything can be included. Alright, so now we're getting a brief rundown of some of the lessons at Hogwarts. Every Wednesday at midnight, Harry and his class have to study the night sky with their telescopes and learn the names of different stars and the movement of planets. Why? For what? When's that gonna come in handy? The heck? Is that like the wizarding equivalent of geography? Will all that benefit any wizard anytime in their careers? Ah yes, the infamous history of magic lessons, which is considered to be objectively boring. Oh snap! So history of magic is the only lesson taught by Professor Binns, and apparently he died randomly. One night he fell asleep in front of the staff room fire and then got up the next morning and left his body behind. Ain't that something? He does know that, right? You know how some people don't really realize they're dead? Ah yes, a favorite of many, Professor Flitwick, the charms teacher. So Professor Flitwick is a tiny short little wizard, and he has to stand on a pile of books when he teaches. And it says that when he was taking the register and he got to Harry's name, he made this excited little squeak and fell off the pile of books. Right, and then there's Professor McGonagall, who does transfiguration. And Harry and the rest of his class quickly find out that she is not one to be messed with. She started off their first lesson by saying that transfiguration is some of the most dangerous and complex magic they are gonna learn. And so anyone that messes around will leave and not come back. And then she was like, you've been warned. For their first transfiguration lesson, they have to make a match into a needle. Damn, it must be difficult. Because by the end of the lesson, Hermione was the only one who managed to do anything. I don't think she managed to change it all the way, but she at least managed to get somewhere with it. Oh my days, that is giving me some hella nostalgia. Because if I'm honest, there were occasional lessons when I was in primary school where I was Hermione. It was usually in English, naturally, because I've been good at writing and reading since I was a baby, honestly. Wow, McGonagall uses Hermione's work as an example. That's how you know you've done good in class. Oh my days. Oh man, I legit remember one time we were doing literacy in year 2, so I was about 6 years old, and we had to make up some type of story. I just remember getting so immersed into it. Like, I legit remember kind of feeling like I wasn't even in the classroom anymore. Like, I remember my story was something along the lines of the main character being a puppy or something, and going on this journey where he came across a bunch of other types of animals, you know, so like a cat, a mouse, a horse, stuff like that. And at the end of that lesson, my work was the one that got shown to the rest of the class. Like, oh my days, I just felt so special. And that was literally the turning point in my life where I realized I have a talent for writing. I think my teacher was just impressed because it was imaginative and I kind of had an advanced vocabulary for a 6-year-old. Man, primary school was the bomb. Like, we really don't realize how good we have it in primary school, but we got to do all sorts of fun stuff. I remember one of the best things about it being that if you did good work, or if you participated in the lesson a lot, you would get given these stickers that had funny smells. Like, it would be something like a sticker of an apple or a strawberry, and if you sniffed it, it would smell like the strawberry or the apple or whatever. Kind of. It was a bit off, you know. It was only vaguely scented like fruit. Kind of in the same way that medications are sometimes vaguely reminiscent of fruit or something. Anyway, I hope no one was mean to Hermione for getting singled out. Because at the end of the day, students like her are the ones you want to watch out for. And the ones you ought to make friends with as well. Right, so then, next, it says that the lesson that everyone had been looking forward to was Defense Against the Dark Arts with Professor Quirrell. But apparently he turned out to just be a bit of a joke. It literally says that. Oh my days. Oh no. It says his classroom smelled strongly of garlic, and there were rumors that it was to ward off a vampire he met in Romania, and that he was scared it would come back to get him one day. The other thing most people talk about is his turban. Quirrell himself said that his turban had been given to him by an African prince as a thank you for getting rid of a zombie. But no one believes this apparently. Oh, no one believes him because when asked about it, he went pink and changed the subject. Oh, ew. The turban has a funny smell to it. And the Weasley twins think that it's stuffed full of garlic as well, so that Quirrell could be protected wherever he went. Oh, ooh! I was so caught up in imagining what went down in these lessons that I didn't even realize until now that so far JK Rowling has described every lesson but potions. It's only just been mentioned for the first time. So I have a feeling that because it's only just been mentioned and because the chapter is named The Potions Master, I have a feeling JK Rowling's going to go into a lot more detail in this lesson. Like, maybe it advances the plot in some way. Because so far, we've only had a few sentences to describe the other lessons. So I'm imagining this one may go on for a couple pages. Right, the first time it was mentioned was at breakfast on Friday morning. Harry asked Ron what they've got, and Ron says that it's double potions with the Slytherin. Better strap in, boys. Ooh. So Snape apparently favors the Slytherins because he's their head of house, but during Transfiguration, McGonagall didn't show any bias towards the Gryffindors, which says a lot. To me, this shows that McGonagall is a lot more mature, and it kind of implies that Snape is a bit petty. Like, if he legit picks on Gryffindors just because they're Gryffindors, then yeah, he's petty. Also, side note, I'm liking this pace. Like, I've always thought JK Rowling's been good at manipulating time in her book. Like, sometimes she describes just a few days going by or a few months going by. And most of the time she manages to make it feel the same. Like, you don't ever feel like the book is moving too fast or too slow. In my opinion, at least. I really need to learn how to do that. It's just so hard, you know? Ooh. Posters arrive. Aww. Harry gets a handwritten note from Hagrid. It says, "Dear Harry, I know you get Friday afternoons off, so would you like to come and have a cup of tea with me? I want to hear all about your first week. Send us an answer back with Hedwig, Hagrid." Aw, so Harry just borrows Ron's quill and scribbles, "Yes please, see you later" on the back of the note, and then gives it back to Hedwig. So, Hedwig zooms off, and now it's time for potions. Oh snap. Harry had a feeling that Snape didn't like him, but he was wrong. Snape hated him. This is gonna me off, because Snape already has a grudge when Harry literally hasn't done anything. Oh my days. And then Draco, Crabbe and Goyle just make it even worse. They're like Snape's little cheerleaders. Yo, I love that metaphor. So when JK Rowling describes Snape, like Hagrid, he also has dark beady eyes, but they had none of Hagrid's warmth. It says that they're cold and empty and made you think of dark tunnels. I just love that, because you just know exactly what she means. Damn. So, Snape barely speaks in more than a whisper, yet, like Professor McGonagall, Snape had the talent of keeping a class dead silent without even breaking a sweat. Also, it's really obvious that Snape is one of those teachers who's just in love with their own subject. You know, he thinks it's better than all the other subjects and thinks he's better than all the other teachers. Snape, if you're so great, then why haven't you been able to do Defense Against the Dark Arts? Oh! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my gosh. Do you guys remember this bit in the movie where Snape talks about how potions can bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses? Then he's like, "I can teach you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death." Those exact words were on this page. I just read those sentences, you guys, and oh my god. It just got me so hyped up, because when I read the first couple of words, I immediately knew what was coming. And as I was reading it, the scene in the movie played out in my head, and oh my gosh, I could legit hear Alan Rickman in my ears saying those words. Oh my days. Let me tell you guys, my biggest, wildest dream is to write a book that I've just poured my heart and my soul into. and then have it made into a movie, because there's just nothing I want more than to see my work come alive right before me. And there isn't a day that goes by where I don't imagine something from my book playing out in my head. And so to see it in real life, it would just literally be a dream come true. Oh snap. Then Snape starts picking on Harry for real. He singles him out and asks him, what would I get if I added powdered root of asphodel to an infusion of wormwood? Hermione's hand shoots up in the air, but Harry has to admit that he doesn't know. And it says that when he does, Snape's lips curl into a sneer. And then he's like, fame clearly isn't everything. Bruv! Who is this guy? Who does he think he is? Oh my days. And of course, Malfoy and his goons just make it even worse with their laughter. Wow. Snape asks Harry a couple more questions, and Harry doesn't know the answer to any of them, but the more he asks, the more desperate Hermione gets, until she's actually stood up with her hand raised. Like, calm down. Can you not think for once about how embarrassing this must be for Harry? Oh, and Harry points it out. He's legit like, I don't know, but I think Hermione does. Okay, so Snape snaps at Hermione and then reveals the answer to his own question. And then at the end, he's like, why aren't you writing this down? Honestly, screw teachers like this. I know lots of them say that they pick on the people without their hands raised for their own good, but most of the time it's humiliating. Wow. And to top it all off, Snape takes a house point from Gryffindor just for Harry not knowing the answers. Okay, so then the students are put into pairs and have to make a potion to cure boils. As the students try and make this potion, Snape just patrols around the room, hovering over people's shoulders. He does that to everyone except Malfoy. Draco could like slaughter another student right in the middle of the lesson, and Snape would be like, 10 points to Slytherin. Oh, yikes. A couple students are having trouble. Neville managed to melt Seamus's whole entire cauldron. Oh my days, and that potion is burning holes into people's shoes. Oh my god, and Neville is drenched in it. Snape's like, idiot boy. Wow. Boils start to pop up all over Neville's body, so Seamus has to take him to the hospital wing. Damn. There really is danger in magic. Oh my god, and of course, Snape finds some way to blame it on Harry. He's like, why didn't you tell him not to add the quills, the porcupine quills? And then he starts adding to the rumors too. He thinks that Harry didn't say anything because he was trying to make himself look good. So he takes another point off of Gryffindor. Now the lesson is finally over. It's the end of the school day and Harry and Ron head to Hagrid's house. Aww. Hagrid gives them a warm welcome and tells them to make themselves at home. When Harry tells Hagrid about his potions lesson that he just had, Hagrid says the same thing as Ron and tells him not to worry about Snape because he's mean to everyone. He was meaner to Harry though. And he expresses his concerns to Hagrid. He tells him straight up that he feels like Snape hates him, but Hagrid kind of dismisses it. He's like, why should he? I mean, he's right. He shouldn't. He has no reason to be. He's petty. But that doesn't change the fact that he does hate Harry. Oh, damn. Despite Hagrid saying Snape shouldn't hate Harry, for some reason, Hagrid couldn't look him in the eye when he said that. And then Hagrid suddenly changed the topic. What is going on with him? Why is JKRowling building up all these suspicions? I hope she actually ties up all these loose ends. Then after that, Harry picks up the newspaper on Hagrid's table, and on the front page is another headline about the Gringotts break-in. Investigations continue into the break-in at Gringotts on 31st July, widely believed to be the work of dark wizards or witches unknown. Gringotts goblins today insisted that nothing had been taken. The vault that was searched had in fact been emptied the same day. But we're not telling you what was in there, so keep your noses out of it if you know what's good for you, said a Gringotts spokesgoblin this afternoon. I just love stuff like this. Some people don't appreciate these things because they feel like it's just kind of unnecessary, but I disagree, you know. I feel like details like these just add to the world J.K. Rowling's creating. You know, it just makes it more realistic because it's written as if it was a genuine real headline. Oh, snap! So Harry realizes that the break-in happened on his birthday, which was the same day that he and Hagrid went to Gringotts to take some money out of Harry's account. Y'all know what that means, right? The break-in could have happened while they were there. That's what Harry thinks, at least. Oh, and Hagrid agrees. Oh my days. Hagrid legit can't look Harry in the eyes anymore. Why? What's he got to hide? What is really going on? I am here for this plot though. Ain't no way JK Rowling put that newspaper there for no reason. This is foreshadowing. Ain't no way this was an accident. This is definitely foreshadowing. Really good foreshadowing. Right. So now Harry's wondering if the thieves that broke into Gringotts were looking for the thing that Hagrid had taken out of Gringotts. Because y'all remember when they went to visit Harry's vault, right? Hagrid said that he had to take something else out of Gringotts for Dumbledore. And all it was this tiny little package. It was the only thing in that vault, and Hagrid took it out for Dumbledore. That could count as the vault being empty. Wow. So the chapter ends with Harry and Ron returning back to the castle with their pockets filled with rock cakes that they were too polite to refuse. And in terms of the writing, the chapter ends with a few rhetorical questions. Had Hagrid collected that package just in time? Where was it now? And did Hagrid know something about Snape that he didn't want to tell Harry? There we go. That is it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give that like button a little kiss. And subscribe to become a Starlet. Don't forget to follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you have read something that has just left you shook beyond your path, let me know in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.